Hello, this is Patrick Riley, Liberty University. I will be talking today about Logstown, a Native American village in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. The county was the edge of the frontier in the 1780s, and it has many significant prehistoric and historic sites, including Logstown, built in 1744, Fort McIntosh, 1778, Legionville, 1792, and Old Economy in 1824. Fort McIntosh has been archaeologically excavated, and the site contains interpretive signs and monuments. The memory of this fort is kept alive by the yearly garrison days and the citizens of Beaver. The campaign of Major General Anthony Wayne and his cantonment at Legionville has been written about in detail, and there are ongoing efforts to preserve the site. Old Economy, settled in 1824 by German pietists from Württemberg, Germany, is owned and operated by the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission, and thousands of visitors tour the site from all over the world. Logstown is the missing piece of the puzzle. The village was founded in 1744 and became an important fur trading post. There are written accounts from Father Joseph Bonacamps, Celeron de Blainville, Major George Washington, the fur trader George Croghan, Conrad Weiser, and Christian Frederick Post. Logstown is marked on maps drawn by Father Joseph Bonacamps, 1749, John Patton, 1753, George Washington, 1754, Samuel Dunn, 1776, and Daniel Leete in 1785. These maps show Logstown in the east bank of the river, often referred to as the North. In the 1850s, a controversy began with authors claiming it was on the west bank of the river or the south. This argument continued into the 21st century. When the old Logstown was burned in 1754 and the occupants moved away, the French rebuilt a village for the pro-French Indians. This may have caused some of the confusion. Although Logstown is marked on maps and was a well-known landmark, the only attempt to write a history of the site was penned by Judge Daniel Agnew in 1894. The Pennsylvania Museum Commission wanted to locate the village by an archaeological investigation, and in 1942, they sent Dr. Claude Schaefer and Edgar Augustine to Ambridge. The Museum Commission wanted to excavate the town and rebuild it as a tourist attraction. The team found a prehistoric Indian site, but no artifacts were found that could pinpoint it as Logstown. This was the end of the quest to look for Logstown. After spending hundreds of hours poring over old aerial photographs and maps, I felt that I had an idea where to look. I chose to investigate the remains of the old lock number 4 on the Ohio River, which had been damaged during the St. Patrick's Day flood of 1936. In the 1940s, the buildings may have still been standing, and since German saboteurs had derailed a train at Legionville in 1940, Schaefer and Augustine may not have been authorized to look in that area, or simply just didn't think about it. So I went to the area to the old lock and found one of the buildings that had caved in. I crawled inside, and there was an interior wall that had separated from the earth. And 2 meters, about 6.5 feet, below the surface, I found a hand-blown glass trade bead, a typical artifact that you'd be looking for if you were looking for a contact village of that time. So a few weeks later, I took the bead to the Carnegie Museum, and I was told by an archaeologist there that it was a Tandy bead from the Tandy Leather Company. So I placed the bead in an old film case and took it and put it in my attic, and it rests there till this day. 30 years later, and much better educated on the subject, I realized that she was wrong, and I had found an artifact that dates to Logstown. In 1851, railroad workers found a skeleton while laying the tracks for the Pittsburgh to Fort Wayne Railroad. The description of the silver gorget and the silver bracelet that were on the skeleton shows that this was a person of high stature, and visitors to Logstown in 1752 noted that Chief Kakwachiki, the original chief, was very old and sick and on his deathbed. And this may have been him. The land between the railroad and the river was preserved by the building of the railroad until the lock was built, and this strip of land probably holds the remnants of Logstown. In a way, the railroad preserved the site, although the lock probably damaged some of it. The location of the French village will also be part of my search. No one seems to know exactly where that was, and a detailed history of this site is long overdue. Perhaps a future archaeological investigation or ground penetrating radar study can be done to settle this controversy once and for all. We need to tell the story of this place so Logstown can take its rightful place in Pennsylvania's rich cultural history. Thank you.